Let's see. I think I have them added. Yep, there you go. Live and restart. All right. There we go. Finally, we are live. First gun round. Predictions before the game starts, Growth?
Both the teams are really strong. You'll see that they're using the right weapons. They have two flankers on security. That's a funny thing. We'll see how that works out. That means they're probably going to play faster, so there's possibly going for market control. But normally, security will have the benefit here.
Well, we'll have to see and find out who's going to make the big plays and who's going to win. Of course, Dome with an early pre-nade. Not in a bad spot, but not going to ultimately hit too many people. Good stopper nades, but a little bit late, unfortunately. Ballistic-Droid able to run past it. Already on, blocking Bravo, as you can see some pre-fires coming out. Swax trying to nade that enemy up on that hill. You can land nearby. I'm not going to kill him. Definitely suppress him and let him know that he's not welcome there. You see the team spread out pretty closely, although security definitely focused on B. Matt gets the first kill, actually a nade kill onto Droid for the first kill of the game, and Tobias with the refrag onto Stumpy, and too easy for Dizzy getting the pick onto Flebbels on the side. Meanwhile, Zartex about to get this shot in this Sandbags player here. Here's him coming, gets the shot, doesn't quite kill him, but definitely wounds them. Trying to shoot through walls, unfortunately, they can't see through them. Make it a little OP. But Zartex does get the kill on Tobias, but Swax gets the pick on a Domewalker as he tries to get onto B and is down to just Swax. Trying to soloing on B, 1v2. He shoots, doesn't quite land the shot. He manages to side strafe past Swax. Swax, getting run. Actually, Swax getting the rundown onto Zartex. Down into a 1v1 on B here, as it's just MidKing capping up B. Too easy for Dizzy in a 1v2 situation. Less than a minute left in time, so he has to push B fast. They're going to cap up A and make it a 5v1 in just a moment. Although waiting after it is not a bad call. The thing is, they don't have a lot of time, and Swax, unfortunately, got the pick and had the angle and won the fight, winning the first round 1-0. How do you think that round went, Growth? Was it what you expected?
Well, actually, as you saw, Swax is doing his work.
Indeed.
I was not expecting, but I see now that they've switched up. So now they're not running two flankers, but they got a proper rifle now. So you'll see the whole team as EBRs.
Indeed, this is a good proper spread, how it should be played, mind you. Having one flanker is nice for, trying out different strats and trying to break through standard meta stuff. It's nice to have, but you only have one of them at a time, because otherwise you are going to be at a disadvantage on most maps, including this one, which is heavily focused on wallbangs compared to other maps, which are more grenade throw focused or positional kind of focused. So Flebbels avoiding some pre-nades. Dome actually getting the pick onto Droid through B, but unfortunately gets naded. Somebody actually take the nade from Flebbels. And Tobias gets the pick onto Market, clearing it up for Insurgents to push through and around, although too easy for Dizzy. Holding cross B. But Dome gets the pick on the Swax, and Rage Mad taking out Flebbels. Huge plays coming out for security. They have the advantage on B. Tobias needs to get off and make it push to B, or at least try something. MidKing does get the flank around, but unfortunately he's last alive. Tobias getting picked by too easy for Dizzy, covering it up above. And now MidKing in a situation.
They didn't play for B. Nobody got on, and you see they paid.
Indeed, you got to cover all the objectives, including the neutral one, which is Bravo. Here comes the first fight, and he whiffs, unfortunately. Another round, actually a tie on the board now. 1-1 for Dome versus Swax's team. So running two MP5s on security, what would be a reason to do that?
Well, move through the objective faster. I don't believe that they have two MP5s, the only one that I see.
Indeed, this round.
Okay, yeah, running with a flanker means you can move faster. You're lower weight, so you can push through to try to cover around the objective. But they did not successfully do that, unfortunately.
Yep. I think the pre-nades unfortunately stopped them from getting that through, which does happen. You can see a couple of pre-nades coming out from security. Not going to take anybody out. Oh, it does actually take out Droid. He gets a little too close to the fire and is swept up by that. But Flebbels gets the cross pick onto Too Easy for Dizzy, clearing it up for a B push potentially, but it looks like they're opting to play it passive. They're really not one to take any chances on the side. You can see Mad just capping up for free.
Got on the point. They haven't even touched Bravo. They're not even...
Yep, they're going to opt to go around it. They may go in for kills instead. Somebody gets the pick on the mid king, trying to run A on the far side, but not letting it through this time. Swax, meanwhile, sneaking through. He does hear that player rotating around him, though, and should be able to fire. Flebbels getting into B now to try and fight it up. He blocks B at 99% for security, and unfortunately, Mad will take him out as Flebbels peeks a little too aggressively there and gets taken out. Tobias with the flank on River. About to take up this upper shrine player. He is close, but Swax gets the pick on a Stumpy, stopping that push and opening up for Alpha for Insurgents, but Tobias needs to clear up Bravo. He sees the head. He's been spotted. He has to make a move. You can see the rest of the team rotating around that position of where he is. Tobias unfortunately trapped and in a bit of a pickle. He had a player up above and now has rotated down below, covering on the street. Oh, and from downside, Matt will take out Tobias, but Swax gets the pick on the Dome within A. Swax last alive for the Insurgents in a 1v... Actually, 1v2. Looks like somebody dropped out. Disconnected. 1v2 is not easy. Not impossible. He base A to get information.
He's got to make a move now because he's being blocked. There we go.
And just like that, unfortunately, Zartex spotted him through the frame of the door and takes him out and takes the lead 2-1.
I'm not seeing them take control of the objective. They're just letting the security get on. I would say that it would be better that they watch the stopper nade and then push right on.
Indeed, they're kind of playing it passive, trying to think. Maybe they're going for like an AC strat and they're trying to fake B with that one, or try and catch out security pushing too far forward and aggressively, thinking that they had game and kind of had the momentum in them. I think that's what they were trying to do, but they unfortunately didn't have that positioning, strength and actual smarts to actually use that. Unfortunately, they kind of just waited and kind of hesitated and then got annihilated. So it's important to use your advantages if you're trying to use them, or just kind of go all out. You can see security setting up for the nice pre-nade. Ooh, but Flebbels takes out Stumpy again, playing a little too aggressive. Oh, but Mad taking out Droid. And Stumpy actually team-killing Dome. That's an unfortunate one. B now being cleared up for just Mad. Flebbels taking out Too Easy for Dizzy, though, clearing it up a little bit for the side push for Insurgents. Unfortunately, Zartex has a tough job now, playing in a river position, trying to cover Bravo. Cover for his team. He's not in a bad spot. There's a couple of spots he can see, of course. He's not able to get on and cover B on the side that's going to be really open. Unfortunately, it's down to just 2 players last alive. Matt gets the kill to Tobias running into B, but they know where he is. You can already see MidKing rotating on B. Matt does cap up Bravo, though. So Insurgents have a bit of a back foot now. It is a 5v3 now instead of a 3v2. A bit of a misplay there, if I had to guess. Here comes Flebbels, gets the kill onto Mad. Very quick to see, and Swax as well catching out that spawn Zartex. Here comes Too Easy. Oh, his gun unfortunately blocking his view. MidKing will take him out as he tries to push into Alpha. And you can see on the long side, Dome, oh, almost lands the shot. MidKing does bring up Alpha to bring back his team.
Look at the cap. Yep.
Indeed, and he'll be able to bring back at least 2 people from spawn, which is not bad. And, oh, Dome takes out Swax while Flebbels takes out Stumpy. Going for the spawn camp. Last side note is going to be Domewalker. Held up on A by just MidKingTV. Flebbels coming in on the side to try and help him out. It is help out MidKing and not Domewalker. Of course, they are opposing. You see, they're kind of held up there. Insurgents are already started to cap up Bravo, so they have the advantage, which means Dome has to try and win this. And unfortunately, does not shoot the right time and ties up the game 2-2.
It's going to be a good game.
Indeed, this is going to be very, very close.
They're learning from each other, so we're seeing they see what strat the other team's playing, and they're adapting, which means it's going to make it good.
Indeed, this is a really, really good back and forth game. Good momentum, good late game stuff, good early game stuff. Both teams right now are playing fantastically. It's going to come down to who makes the right call at the right time and who can get the shots off to get the kills. At the very end there, you can see MidKingTV just waiting in a really, really good spot where people aren't going to look, which is just a little bit forward where the gun can't see them. You know, it's the little things like that that are the huge playmakers in the long run. So go ahead and follow Ballistic-Droid from spawn as he tries to play B again. Hopefully, he won't get pre-naded this time. You can see security a little early on that pre-nade, but this second one might get him, but it will definitely suppress and get away his position. Too easy for Dizzy getting the pick early onto Flebbels. You see Zartex trying to shoot across, not going to spot anybody out. You can see security now focused heavily on that left side of Bravo. Usually a stronghold for Insurgents, although Dome is trying to go for the really long shot across into possibly Tobias, who isn't actually playing there. Swax is actually covering that from rubble. So Zartex does get the pick onto Droid, running into B. So security has the advantage, but Tobias gets the refrag onto Zartex in market. So it is going to be down two. Too easy for DC to try and cover that market position.
On.
Indeed, although Tobias gets a pick early on too easy for Dizzy, giving up some coverage. Finally, the rotation into B from Swax. Does fake the vault. Puts himself in a really advantageous position, and now 2v1 on B. Here comes Dome to try and support. Gets the kill onto Tobias. Just one more on B to fight into 2v1. Swax in a advantageous position despite the weirdness of sitting on some, or at least crouching on some cabinets there. And, oh, Stumpy taking out MidKing.
A has been secured.
Indeed, they have unfortunately lost the cap on A, so Insurgents are down to just Swax in a 1v2.
He's choosing to decap right now, hoping that he's going to kill Bravo. But I would say he should push up towards Bravo.
Yeah, Stumpy should make a push, although it is end of round time, so they could just hold him on A and then go straight for C, which is what Stumpy's planning on doing. It is the safe call to make. Swax now has to push. He's running out of time. Using that cap on A is going to be big. It looks like Stumpy trying to get some lucky shots off, not going to land it. Swax has to make a move. It's taking a very long time. Both players aiming on the edge. Oh, and just like that, Mad patient, waiting, and gets the lead, now 3-2.
They could have been throwing a smoke, actually, at their van to block. They're having a lot of pressure from market, and how you can change that is by throwing a smoke right around Sandbags area.
Indeed, and that is, of course, if you're looking in the view, it is right near this location here. So it's the little gap between the van here that's blown out and these little sandbags here. This is where they can throw the smoke to hopefully get a little bit of coverage to prevent people from shooting up above here and even across from here. And people even throw smokes up and over here. So it all depends on what you're looking to do and what you're planning on doing. Let's go and see what the Insurgents are planning on doing. They're doubling up for B, basically all four and just one on the outside as a lurk position. Let's go ahead and follow Swax. Ooh, Stumpy though nades Ballistic-Droid again. Unfortunately, doesn't get the timing right on that one. Flebbels avoiding the Hellfire, although they are throwing a lot of pre-nades onto back B for against the Insurgents, which is a little strange. I guess they assume more people are going B.
No B play from the other side.
Indeed, the Insurgents are playing very passive, but Flebbels does catch out too easy for Dizzy, pushing a little too aggressively, and Stumpy doing the same thing, kind of waiting. Flebbels trying to catch out somebody being a little too aggressive, playing in a bit of a unique spot. But Tobias actually catching out Zartex, clearing up market play for Insurgents to move in and around. Oh, Flebbels doesn't land the shot, but Mad does cap up Bravo, bringing two security players back. I think they're actually capping up, letting security cap it up and then killing them. Oh, but Flebbels, slow in the draw there, surprisingly, actually gets killed by Stumpy. Pushing around, trying to clear it out. MidKing around A. Ooh, but Swax on the long side will actually take out Stumpy from downtown. Unfortunately, Tobias gets the kill as well into Mad, clearing up B. Bit of a fight on their hands. You can see both players shooting across. Oh, but Tobias takes out Rage, and Too Easy takes out Swax. It is down to just B. Oh, but Dome taking out MidKing to make it tough for Tobias. Now in a 3v1. 2v1 on B and 1 on the flank. Coming nearby. Go ahead and hop out and see what's going to happen here. See him making the push around. Oh, and just like that, Zartex watching and waiting will take him out and continue the lead now 4-2.
I really feel like they're playing too far wide flank. They're not able to support their players on B, so they just aren't capping this whole time.
Indeed. It looks like they are playing best of sevens. They've swapped at 6 rounds. That's a little interesting. Based on that pace, do you still think, or do you think at least, that Swax has a chance of winning this game?
On security, I do believe there's still a chance, yes, to make up those rounds. Normally, in out of 11, when we were doing the halves, a good half on this is getting a 6-4, 4 for Insurgents and 6 for
security.
Yes.
Okay. There's a bit of an advantage, and then in that case, for Stumpy's team. Although early pre-nades coming out aren't really landing on anybody. Insurgents. Yeah, they've managed to get on just fine. Domewalker taking out MidKing, stopping that flank. Fortunately, Mad just waiting on B. Bit of a stalemate here, quite literally. Both watching the same areas. Though this pre-nade could work. He bounces it in the absolute Kobe position and does indeed take out Ballistic-Droid on B. Just waiting for the push around as security plays a little bit passive, but Flebbels and Swax taking out Stumpy and Zartex is going to be huge. It is down. Oh, and Mad taking out Flebbels, though. Down to just Swax last alive. Playing on the outskirts. Not in an ideal position to be at in a 1v2. Mad Dome versus Swax. Swax has the aim and gets the shot hunt to Mad now in a 1v1. Oh, 99% too.
Gonna win there.
Indeed, left peak advantage is strong in Sandstorm. Dome going for the A cap. Swax going for C. Oops. Not a bad call. At the end of time, Insurgents will have the advantage of just running straight to B and getting on and winning it, potentially. But security has the chance, or at least Swax has the chance to stop that spawn wave from doing that. Although it looks like Dome will get the A cap before security gets that C cap. So it's going to be a huge delay for security to try and win. Just like that, he has more than half the objective to recap. Insurgents can run straight to B, cap it up, and win the game. As Dome is doing right now, he's opting to avoid doing a spawn camp, which is what normally people would do if they have the advantage in a C cap situation like this. But because of that time being short, they can run straight to B, cap it up, have 2-1 at the end of time, and win the round, which is what's ultimately important. Swax gets the C cap, but it may not be enough time. He primes B to 99%. Actually, a smart call, though. Zartex gets on and caps it anyway. A bit of an oopsies. Wanted to try to actually hold that off, so when people die, like Swax just did to Twizzy and Tobias, they aren't caught out to where they have no time. Security just has to run straight to A, and they can stop that time from going in favor of Insurgents. And indeed, they make it.
They need to reinforce Charlie now.
Indeed, Zartex and Mad are still waiting for spawn camps. Mad does take out one, but Zartex not ultimately doing too much. He needs to go to A or C, or do something. Swax guarding C very, very well. You see them actually neck and neck, nearly identically close to each other. Not quite spotted yet. And just like that, with the A cap, security actually takes it, despite all odds, shortening the lead to only 3-4.
He played it smart, recapped his team, made them work to cap the next one, and it worked out for him.
Indeed, security. Unfortunately, Insurgents really kind of dropped the ball now. When they had the great strat set up, they had everything good to go, and then they just decided to throw it away and just not go for... They saw what security was doing. I don't even know if they saw it. They just said, oh, whatever. Okay, they're on A, whatever. But they didn't go to try and get B or C. They just kind of let it go, and at that point, it was GG, so... Took a little too long to do that, so time is always of the essence, especially at the end of time where you only have less than a minute, or actually about 1 minute to make a move, so it's important to do things in a timely manner. Grenade set will come in and will not take anybody out, although it does... Flebbels is picked early by too easy for Dizzy.
You notice there's no bunker players, so they can't watch the cross well from Sandbag.
Indeed, although Stumpy... Yeah, although Stumpy does get the pick onto Flebbels, and Mad will take out Tobias, pushing a little too dangerously in the market there. You can see Mad waiting. Both players watching their flanks, although Stumpy wins the fight against Ballistic-Droid, and unfortunately didn't have his eyes on. Swax did get the kill on Stumpy, despite being stuck in the same spot as he did yesterday. Stuck in the Bermuda Triangle. unable to get out. All they can do is kind of sit and wait. Dome, meanwhile, going for A, sneaking around and through. MidKing will rotate to C and start the cap up there, and Swax finally escaped, but just to get taken out by Zartex, capping up B at the same time, down to just MidKingTV, last alive on C. Gonna be big. There's a tough objective to do. Indeed, he has a lot of places to look and watch. About to get dunked on by 3 people. Getting triple teamed on all sides. Here comes the Kobe. Lands nearby. Won't take him out. He will get the C-cap in time, but unfortunately too dizzy for will wallbang him and end the round. Continue the lead now 5-3.
I really feel in this kind of situation, one of the best places to be is behind the couch when it's you versus all and you're not a Swax.
Indeed.
That couch is like unbangable, I do believe.
The huge plays coming out for both teams. Unfortunately, Insurgents did win that round, continually now to 5-3. Insurgents late game have that. They have the good setup and they have the good mindset of I know how to set this up, but they just can't seem to execute on that plan. Which, while it may not seem like security has that kind of strategy mindset, they have that kill ability and move ability to actually use and actually win those setups, despite being in a non-ideal situation. So. You gotta have both, unfortunately. You can't just have the brains and not the bronze. So, Swax getting an early pick onto Mad, running fast into B, and Zartex getting the trade onto Droid. Similarly running into B, both B now being basically neutral still. Stumpy just get the pick early onto Flebbels, although Swax now getting onto B, starting up the cap for security. See Swax trying to clear out Rubble. Pre-firing it somewhat. Oh, doesn't get the shot. He gets it nearby, but not quite. Meanwhile, at the same time, Zartex gets onto B, as Stumpy tries to get the shot across into Swax, but decides to go around instead. Meanwhile, Tobias has actually flanked Insurgents and gone into their enemy lines. Zartex not able to spawn. Swax gets the pick onto Stumpy, trying to shoot across. Meanwhile, Zartex about to get naded, but gets caught up by Tobias. Good flushing out grenade there. At the same time, MidKingTV is still capping up for his team, so Swax can cap up B and C. Dome is capping up A, so will be a reset on players. Dome last alive now. Swax winning the fight against Wizard Dizzy, getting 3 kills this game, which is huge. MidKingTV bringing back his team, only 2 alive. Meanwhile, Dome going to bring back his entire team on Alpha. There's not enough time. They're going to go ahead and guard C. And just like that, it is a reset on players. All 10 are now alive. Unfortunately, security has a bit of a strange advantage, having C fully capped, and Insurgents having A capped is a bit weird to defend, although unfortunately Swax gets the kill into tweets for Dizzy from spawn. Swax just waiting. He can just wait infinitely. He has the time. B is primed to 99% for security, so if anyone dies, they can just jump on and capture the objective and win the round. Indeed, Insurgents have gotten onto Alpha still. They're still holding it. Meanwhile, Stumpy, with the longest flank ever recorded, is slowly making some footsteps. About to get the drop. Possibly. Or get dropped on, actually. Unfortunately,
What
MidKing...
a sneaky spot from MidKing there.
Yeah, he played it well. 7 seconds left, not enough time. Nobody on the respawn, but that's going to be fine. Zartex manages to get onto B at the last second to block the easily win. So Dome needs to now get off Alpha. He is suppressed, but Tobias takes out Zartex, and security will take the round win, shortening that lead now 4-5.
You're all alone like that. Definitely want to sit up in a corner on a shelf in that.
Indeed, it's the sneaky stuff, kind of like in Rainbow Six Siege, where you might put a drone, is where you can actually move in this game and actually position yourself to win, ideally. So for those of you who are brand new to the game and are wondering what's going on here, this is competitive Firefight. Firefight is a game mode that is of 3 objectives, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. Each team has their own home objective, being an A or C, depending on the site they start, and a neutral one in the middle of the map. Your goal is to have at least 2 objectives uncontested at the end of time. If you have all 3, you win those 2. If you have 2 uncontested, you do win the round, or if you kill the entire enemy team, you win the round. At the end of time, if you have 2 uncontested, you win. If it is contested, as in a player is on it, you will enter in overtime mode for 1 minute to clear them out, or it will be a tie. So rounds do end
up,
at 3. Indeed, the late. I think they smoked a little too late and tried to get on a little late. Although it looks like security opted to play a little bit tighter into B. It used to be a little bit more outward and kind of try to peek before Stumpy. May have been a bit spooked by the kills coming out early on before, but Tobias gets the pick early on to Zartex, clearing out Market again. Unfortunately, Market not really being used too much by Insurgents, they're opting to play a little bit more AC style. Possibly getting picked across. Indeed, Dome going a bit of an exploration of the map as MidKing goes for the flank. Stumpy gets the pick on the Ballistic-Droid, and Swax wins the fight against Stumpy on B. He has one more to take out. Meanwhile, Tobias gets killed on the rotation. Flebbels taking him out, and Swax taking out Stumpy on the flank. Dome trying to come in to help B. Could go for A, though. And you can see there is a player up above and across trying to spot him. Flebbels will take him out. And just like that, Swax taking out Mad on B will get the round win and tie it now for security, 5-5.
Very exciting round. Although they went out very fast. Definitely the smoke they should be throwing from further back in their spawn by the bus if they want to do this type of tactic, and then they run immediately. But I really believe that Stumper Nade is stopping them.
Yep. It is all... It's a game of chance, ultimately, especially with pre-nades and how the timings work. If you can nail it, you nail it. But if you don't, then you're going to have a bad time because you're going to have to be, fighting some pretty tough battles. So, but equally, this map has a lot of pros and cons. It's one of the most balanced maps out there for Sandstorm. A lot of the pre-nades and timings and stuff are relatively equal. They're not perfect, of course, but for the most part, security has a pretty good chance against Insurgents. Although there are some good pre-nades you can throw for Insurgents that are definitely a little bit stronger than securities. Although equally, the wall bangs are kind of make up for that on both sides. So it's a bit of back and forth. I think, though, we're finally ready to start the actual round. You can see everybody running basically Mark 14 EBRs or FALs. The reason for that is they are one-hit kill weapons. So if you shoot somebody, they die for 99% of the time. Looks like they had a bit of an issue with their loadouts or with the players themselves. They should now be live and ready to go, unless there's an issue. Looks like they're live. Or they're not live.
They're not live. There is 5 assaulters, which is illegal in this mode.
Oh. Gotcha. I think one of them could be a marksman. That'd be why. But in any case, let's go ahead and get started. Only 2 rounds left before it is the end of time, at least for best of 7. You think Domewalker's team has a chance of winning this still?
Yeah, why not? They need to play B better. That's all I gotta say. They're kind of focusing more on the AC side and Rubble side, and they could have made these picks very easily below Shrine and from River or from Billboard. Indeed,
although Swax getting an early pick onto Mad, avoiding the pre-nade, but unfortunately the timing is just not working out in their favor. They're trying to clear it out. Tries to shoot into B, doesn't quite take anybody out. You see him trying to wallbang across the edge there. And security opting to just kind of wait for Insurgents to make a push. Although Dome does get the pick onto MidKingTV, clearing it out for Insurgents to get onto A. Flebbels and Tobias taking out Stumpy, and Zartex making huge plays, and Flebbels taking out Tobias for Dizzy. Just like that in a row, sweeps Insurgents out to just Domewalker last alive. They capping up B. They didn't really need to. They only brought back one person, so not ideal. Not a bad time, since they don't have a lot of time available on the clock. MidKing can come in and try and fight on A again against Dome. Try and get some revenge for dying earlier, but that's about it. Fortunately, Swax already rotating to C. Double rotate to C. Flebbels trying to just wallbang through A. Opting for the carpet bomb strat. Indeed. Looks like MidKing going for the secret kind of stealth flank. Dome goes get the hero cap onto Alpha, bringing back his entire team, although Swax in position already for that. in a sneaky spot of his own. From spawn there, he can spot out most of the players. Although most of them are actually going to go towards C and avoid the spawn camp. So only one player, if that, could be affected, although Mad is hiding in a pretty advantageous spot to not get hit by that. He does get the shot and kill onto Flebbels as he rotates out of position. Here comes Swax to try and get some kills now that he knows that no one's actually going his way. Here's him. Let's see them. Twizzy actually nade kills Ballistic-Droid on B. Or on C, actually. That was a pretty good Kobe throw. Dope taking out MidKing on A. Keeping it for Insurgents. Although you can see Flebbels is trying to go for A. Trying to retake it. Could go for the wallbang. He gets the shot and kill onto Dome. Security now has A control of the Mad fighting on B. Alongside Twizzy capping up Charlie. Huge place from Insurgents. Tobias has to clear out Bravo. They do not have a lot of time for this. Security getting the cap onto A, though, could be big. Both teams are resetting their players. Stumpy now coming in to try and support. He doesn't see the player. Unfortunate. It was in his view, but he did not spot that player prone out on the side. See them moving around. Gets the spot. And Stumpy will take out Tobias, leaving just Flebbels last alive on A. He'll bring back his team, but it won't be enough. 40 seconds left. Insurgents just have to dogpile B, and they will win the round. Indeed, Stumpy will take out Flebbels, rotating towards C. Once they dogpile on, it will be GG. Zartex going for some spawn kills potentially, but there's no one going to be there in time. And just like that, Insurgents take the round 6-5. So, last round of the game. Or I believe of this first best of 3. Who do you think is going to win this? Is it going to be a tie game or we're going to go to overtime? Or do you think... I
hope not. we have 2 other maps to play.
Indeed, although you never know. Whenever they have a best of 3 like this, it always ends up being... the first one will overtime, the second 2 will go pretty easily. Although you could end up with a quadruple overtime. You never know. It has happened before. Let's see how it'll play out. Here comes Mad. Insurgents setting up for a pretty good pre-nade throw. Won't take anybody out as security opting to play a little more passive. They're throwing some standard meta grenades, but they're not really throwing anything that's going to catch anybody out that's not experienced. They're playing games before. Tobias finding up the shot. Oh, and whiffs, unfortunately, onto Zartex. But Ballistic will take out Mad, pushing a little too fast within B. Flebbels taking the trade as well onto Twizzy for Dizzy would be huge, although Stumpy with the rotation gets the kill into Swax. Trying to overly aggressively push. Stumpy, though, knows there's a player here, as does the other player know there's a player there. Although up above, Flebbels will come in for the support kill and take out Stumpy as Dome tries to make it to A. Indeed, is 2v2. Flebbels has to now fight in a 1v1, both on A and B. Flebbels going for the potential wallbang. Doesn't quite land it. Zartex making the push. Tries to set up for it. Manages to sneak past Ballistic-Droid. And Flebbels wins the fight on A, down to just Zartex last alive for Insurgents to try and win it. In a 1v2, and will not win it. It will be a tie.
This is going to be interesting.
Indeed. Is this going to be first to 4 or next run? Who wins the round wins?
It should be first to 3, so
okay.
Who wins the next one?
So whoever wins the next round will win, correctly? Is that correct? Or is it first to 3? First to 4 wins it. 3 round swap?
I believe it's first to 3, so it might go over.
Okay. Oh, we'll find out. Go ahead and follow Zartex from spawn.
Okay, it's 2 each, so 4 rounds total for the...
Okay. Flebbels will get the kill onto Twizzy for Dizzy. Ballistic holding on B as Tobias tries to get the shot off. Oh, but doesn't land it onto Stumpy as he pushes fast into B. The Ballistic just waiting for the push. And Swax getting the shot off onto Stumpy in B there. Huge plays going up for Insurgents as Mad Kind of waits around, waiting for that push. Not going to happen as MidKing is already flanked Dome, and Flebbels may get caught off guard, but he's playing in a safe spot where Dome isn't going to spot him out. Very obviously, at least. So we can see Droid taking a lot of fire, not quite getting fired, but Zartex and Mad tag teaming it here on B. Unfortunately, Flebbels will take out Zartex, and as a trade, oh, Mad takes a lot of damage with that. Only 5 HP, 10 HP left. Oh, and Swax with the flank will get the kill onto Mad, down to just Domewalker on C, last alive. Not in an ideal position. Indeed. They're going to decap B and go for the B cap. They also have A partial cap, so they can bring back all their players.
She's at about 90 at the moment.
Yep, they're going to cap back C, and they'll bring back their team. And Insurgents will cap up A, bringing back all teams. All 10 players are alive. Swax setting up for the spawn camp. He is in a restricted zone, so he won't be able to aim very well. He can get some shots off, but they won't be on target. Let's see what Swax can do, trying to get some shots off. Not able to spot anybody out as they all run long side, playing in a bit of a safe position. Although, fortunately for him, Swax does spot out Stumpy. Playing a little too close to the edge. MidKing holding A. Playing the same spot as he did before. Mad getting the kill onto Swax, and MidKing taking out 2 Izzy for Dizzy. Which is pushing a little too aggressive into A there, trying to just get on the last second. Ballistic, though, getting on, and Tobias taking out Mad on B just like that. Dome has to try and get a play onto C. He has to try and go for B or A. He has to do something. Unfortunately, Insurgents have swarmed the map. Zartex winning the fight against MidKing, who must have rotated out a little too far and should have just stayed where he belonged. Just like that. They have a bit of a chance now, but unfortunately, Dome is not doing much for his team other than guard C, which isn't going to be as necessary as going for B or A. Important to have C control, but Dome takes out Swax, though. Oh, he almost gets a shot off onto Tobias. Dome was just trying to guard C with his life, but unfortunately, it looks like Zartex is kind of wasting that time. See, they're both kind of just waiting here. They need to make a push. Dome is fighting for his life as his teammate is basically just waiting out time, which they don't have a lot of. Ooh, but Flebbels from the flank will take out Zartex. Last life is Dome, out of position. And they will decap A, and Tobias will take out Dome. And the first round in overtime will go in favor of Swax, 7-6. And just like that, it is the first round on the board. Security opting to try and have Zartex fighting a 1v1 on A. As Dome, that was an impressive hold on C. Unfortunately, it was not the play to make. You should have probably rotated off and tried to go for an objective versus just holding C. AC strat at the end like that is definitely unexpected. As an Insurgent player, I would have not. That's a tough one to try and fight against, because it's not really... It's advantageous for them to just move around and just wait out time. So, did good though despite that. Unfortunately, Mad gets picked as he rotates into A. A nice smoke would probably prevent him getting cross-picked. The nades, of course, go through smoke. Tobias waiting for the shot and gets the kill onto Zartex through the sandbags. Droid getting onto B pretty much for free. Security opting to just kind of turtle in and kind of hold on. They're getting picked pretty quick, and Swag and Tobias taking out Dome and Stumpy. Last life is going to be too easy for Dizzy on B. Running on the flank. Here comes the attempt at a Kobe. He shoots. And he misses, unfortunately. That Insurgent player runs out of the way in time. If he had cooked that, he probably would have got the kill. But unfortunately, opts to not cook it. Just kind of sends it fast. Unfortunately, not the play he needed to make. All this fruit. You see them both aiming at each other. And just like that, Swax will win the fight. And that is the end of the first half in overtime. Insurgents take it 8-6. So big half coming in for the Insurgents. The question is if they can do the same thing on security, which is not going to be as easy. They had a lot of really, really good grenade throws and good timings. Good pre-fires to aim across, but unfortunately just did not work out in their favor. So it is going to be a tough one to see how it all play out. Let's go ahead and follow Dome from spawn.
This is security. I really feel that right now security is going to win this. Go ahead.
They definitely got some good positioning stuff in. Zartex, ooh, gets the kill into Droid as Swax takes out Dome, running straight into B. Flebbels gets the pick as well onto Zartex, rotating around. And Tobias gets the shot onto Matt as Stumpy taking out Flebbels, just like that. I know there's a meeting. Hush. Swax already getting onto B. Well, at least near B. Oh, he gets the shot onto Stumpy. That was a tough spot to spot from. Indeed, too easy for Dizzy. Last alive for the Insurgents, rotating fast onto B. This could be it for the first game. He has to win this on B. Oh, and he does not win it. Just like that.
Swax putting in work.
It is GG's for the first game. Swax running 32-11. Most kills of the game. GG's, well played. That is Swax's team 9 to Dome's 6.